Good evening, I'm Jeff Glor, and we're going to begin tonight with an interview just completed at the White House and a new chapter in a bitter dispute between the president and the speaker. With 2 weeks to go before another potential government shutdown, President Trump told Face the Nation moderator Margaret Brennan that negotiations over border security are a waste. And he says he's closer to declaring a national emergency to build a wall. In that interview, the president took full aim at House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Here is what he told Margaret.
You had quite the showdown with Speaker Pelosi. What did you learn about negotiating with her?
Well, I think that she was very rigid, which I would expect, but I think she's very bad for our country. She knows that you need a barrier. She knows that we need border security. She wanted to win a political point. I happen to think it's very bad politics because basically she wants open borders. She doesn't mind human trafficking, or she wouldn't do this because, you know, the traffickers...
She offered you over $1 billion for border security.
Excuse me?
She offered over $1 billion for border security. She doesn't want the wall.
She's costing the country hundreds of billions of dollars because what's happening is when you have a porous border and when you have drugs pouring in and when you have people dying all over the country because of people like Nancy Pelosi who don't want to give proper border security for political reasons, she's doing a terrible disservice to our country. And on the 15th, we have now set the table beautifully because everybody knows what's going on because of the shutdown. People that didn't have any idea, they didn't have a clue as to what was happening, they now know exactly what's happening. They see human trafficking. They see drugs and gangs and criminals pouring in. Now, we catch them because we're doing a great job. But if we had proper border security, we wouldn't have to work so hard and we could do an even better job. And I think Nancy Pelosi is doing a terrible disservice to the people of our country. But
you're still going to have to deal with her, though.
No, she can keep playing her games, but we will win because we have a much better issue.
All right, Margaret joins us now from our bureau in Washington. Margaret, we are 2 weeks away as of tonight from another possible government shutdown. Based on your time with the president and the rhetoric right now, how does this end?
Well, this was much sharper language from the president regarding the Speaker of the House, and this seems a clear signal he's giving up and trying to work with Congress. Nancy Pelosi's deputy chief of staff just said he's undermining bipartisan efforts by using language like this. In our conversation, the president would not take a shutdown off the table, but it's clear he is trying to avoid another one because it didn't get him what he wanted last time. He is leaning heavily towards declaring a national emergency as a way to bypass Congress and get funding without their explicit approval. And he's trying to position this as a win because he's describing the repair and renovation of existing fencing as a wall.
Okay. Margaret, so also the president commented on his relationship with his intelligence chiefs today in that interview with you that has been under strain, high strain of late. What did he say about that?
Well, you know, he blasted his intel chiefs a few days ago, calling them naive when they publicly testified about a number of security threats. He's tried to downplay that dispute, but in our conversation today, it's clear many of the things that they publicly presented as fact contradict the president's opinions. He does not believe his CIA chief or national director of intelligence when they say the Iran nuclear deal is working. He dismissed some of their concerns about pulling out of Syria and Iraq, or Syria and Afghanistan, saying that he has intel people, but it doesn't mean he has to agree with them.
Okay, Margaret Brennan, thank you very much for that perspective. You can see Margaret's full interview with President Trump when she hosts Face the Nation from the Super Bowl on Sunday.